Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be BSL Hasuleauge Tier 1, by the way. I think there is a Tier 2 of Hasuleauge as well, but that would be too much commentating for me to cover that on top of everything else. I feel like as a secondary hobby that is effectively also a job, I am putting in good time as it is. I am very excited about this match in particular. We got Rancor starting as the yellow Zerg in the upper right-hand corner. Unco starting in the upper left-hand corner is the orange Terran. Also, it's so rare that we get yellow versus orange. Not sure why. This is going to be on Radion, larger macro map, and Rancor is going to end up with the earlier scout. I will say, from what I have seen, I do believe that Unco is the more solid player, which hurts me to say because I actually really love watching Rancor's games. But I could see Rancor pulling out something crazy and coming away with this victory. Rancor, I'm trying to think what the most recent ZVT I've seen him play, but what does stick out in my mind is quite often he'll go with early Zergling pressure to get map control and then heavy macro behind it. And it's just really fun to see, and it works both ways in TVZ. One thing I like about Rancor is he's got a very good balance of aggression and caution, where he'll put himself in positions to be aggressive and put his opponents kind of in a situation where they're not quite sure what he's going to execute. By the way, it looks like we're going to see a 11 hatch. I believe in a show match, by the way. I saw Soma, maybe Soma, go for a 12 pool, which is funny because I was wondering, I wonder if Zerg go 12 pool, and I'm kind of curious. I think it's just ends up with the, I think it was just a different pace to throw off his opponent. SV scouting out for Unco. Looks like it is going top right, so should get first scout as well. Barracks in construction. No gas right off, so we might see an attempt at one racks into expansion. We'll see if a Marine gets built once Unco sees the hatchery at the later mutation stage. You could probably say that gas before pool here for Rancor, so wanting a little bit of additional resource, wanting a little bit additional gas. Unco should take note of this. So this is either for a little bit of a faster lair, or potentially this is to get faster Zergling speed. And it looks like he's going to go ahead, yeah, and before even producing a Marine. Sorry, never mind, he had a Marine queued up. Going to go ahead and get that command center. Next question is, will Unco get aggressive with the spawning pool at its hatchery state? Is he going to get aggressive with this initial Marine? Because that would be the... I've seen some Terran do that. It's a little bit nutty though, because just the single Marine with SCV support, you really got to micro it well. But if you don't have a Zergling investment, sometimes it can pay off. Right now he's keeping an eye on that larva. At this stage it would just be 2, but it looks like he is holding fast. Doesn't want to be overly aggressive. There could have been Zerglings being built at the natural expansion, and Rancor just full on showing the 309 layer straight up to Unco. So definitely going 2 base here and not really hiding anything back. Anytime we got a barracks and refinery plopping down for Unco. Overlord, kind of interesting placement. So we got the Overlord in place here. Rancor sees a completely open front door right now. There's no craft at all, and not a lot of Marines either. It is a larger map, and the SCV still has some pretty good scouting. It looks like he is going to be able to dispatch this SCV fairly quickly here. As I say that, the SCV getting some additional time on the map. Man, sometimes, and we do see, okay, there's the more characteristic Zerglings, and I think there's only 2 additional Zerglings that were spotted. So we got 3 Marines, no bunker. And the Zerglings starting to make their way out onto the map. Do we have any? Yeah, even more Zerglings. This is very characteristic of Rancor. This SCV should scout it as it's coming across, but Unco's going to need to build a bunker plus. Is he going to be able to... Okay, he sees the additional Zerglings making their way across. Okay, he did the SCV selection trick. Spire's still building behind this. Yeah, absolutely needs some cruft. Instantaneously, will it be in time? Zerglings sprinting across. They do have that Zergling speed. It looks like the bunker is going to complete. Now here's the thing. Hopefully I'm not insulting... Hopefully Rancor... Yeah, see, this is what I wanted to talk about here. Rancor, what I like, again, he puts himself in situations to be aggressive, but at the same time, he doesn't throw units away, and as I say that, diving in on this bunker and losing a bunch of units, making me look like an absolute ass. Excuse the language for people that are watching with kids. Here is about to say Rancor, you know, he plays aggressively but doesn't overcommit. I guess he didn't overcommit with all the Zerglings and have all the Zerglings die, but he did end up dropping a few more Zerglings than was strictly necessary. Spire's going to finish. Unco looking for a move out, leaving that bunker underneath. The Zerglings actually managing to find air. This is enough Zerglings that where it could pose a decent threat to this, but with the fire bats in tow, looks like Unco's going to be able to clean it up without too much trouble. Pushing a lot of this back. We got sunken colonies that are necessary here for Rancor. A lot of fire bats that have been constructed in space. The Zerglings just kind of harassing, getting almost a kill on that fire bat. But definitely buying some time to get some Mutalisks airborne. Unfortunately, because of earlier investments, these Mutalisks are coming out a little bit later. +1 weapons, also in smaller numbers. The Zerglings shooting the gap. This time getting the fire bat, mixing it up with SCVs and Marines. And Unco with a nice SCV drill, going to clean that up. But will be pushed back. Still sitting on 2 barracks, by the way, +1 weapons along for the ride. The 3 Mutalisks making the way across the map. This ball could be microed against, potentially. No turrets up because of everything that's happened at this stage. Is there enough Marine? Okay, 1 turret not going to complete. And the 3 Mutals trying to do what they can. This is some of the problem with Rancor's play, though, is oftentimes he will, with that aggression, if it doesn't go well, end up severely economically behind. Right now, stunted a bit and is almost dedicated to a 2 base Mutalisk all-in. And we've already got a 4th turret on the way here. And a decent Marine ball, +1 weapons. Range is not finished, though. And we'll see if Rancor fills in more drones in the space of this and goes for a 3rd. But right now I'm seeing another 3 Mutalisks being built. +1 weapons not that far from finishing, and I see no motions for Rancor to grab an initial base. Unco, in the meantime, had a very hefty 37 SCVs. So looking in a pretty good macro situation, there's sometimes you'll see players go up to 10 to just kind of have that smothering effect on the front while they're going ahead and securing additional bases for a bit of map control. By the way, so 4th base, missing there's a factory's out here someplace. Where's the factory being built? There's the factory. Wanted to spot that. Rancor microing against these turrets, able to get 2 turrets down. The Marines somewhat out of position to provide support. And Rancor going to cycle back up to the top. With perfect Mutalisk micro and this many Mutalisk and +1 weapons complete, I do believe it's a 2-shot kill on these turrets. And does Unco have enough now? He's got to weather the storm. If he weathers it, it'll turn into a victory. Right now, though, Rancor getting a lot of damage done. Comsat dropped to just see how large that Mutalisk ball is. The Micro Overlord got a little bit too close. It's going to have to be sent back briefly. No repair for Unco on these turrets on top of everything else, so they're falling quite rapidly. And Rancor continuing to apply the pressure. Is getting a good amount of SCVs, but still not enough SCVs to give him a solid advantage. And right now he hasn't really done crippling. He hasn't done crippling damage, and we do have the double starport on the way. So Rancor on a timer to finish this up with the 2 base play. Ooh, Medic got a little bit out of position. The turret's built a little bit further back, which is going to leave this line exposed potentially. Looks like the factory gonna full on float out here. I think almost as a statement to Rancor 1 of like, hey, I got a factory up, you better back off, because that means science vessels are potentially on the way. But also, wow, a lot of Mutalisks making the way around. Are they gonna go for a dive on the main? That could turn into a GG scenario as well, diving on these turrets and wiping out the barracks line. Let's see. So we got 5 here, this group here. I think that would be the best case scenario here for Rancor. Starting to work on the Marine, or sorry, on the SCV line at the main. Few Zerglings crawling their way across. Here come the additional Mutalisks. The Marines are coming in a little bit piecemeal. The Zerglings look like they're going to get cleaned up by the Marines that are latent there. And Rancor not microing his Mutalisks in the main very well against the Marine balls as they're pressing in. So I think that might have been his last shot here to secure victory, going for +2 weapons in the space of this. And I think with the science facility not that far from completing and a decent Marine count still on the ground, Unco's got this potentially solidified, although his mining has been somewhat hindered. He's not at the 34 SCVs he was at earlier stages, but he's still in a better economic situation than Rancor. He's recognized that Rancor is still locked on 2 bases. He's shelled up very, very well. Lurker switch, by the way, for Rancor. There, maybe if Unco fumbles the micro, this could still turn into a victory. I don't see it happening. And as soon as the radiate is complete, this is going to turn into a nightmare for Rancor. Mutila's taking fire as they're trying to reinforce. One of them getting wiped out. 2 of them getting wiped out as they're trying to reinforce. Few Hydralisks at the near side. The thing is this has to be a Lurker bust with the Hydralisks, because this is going to be such a delayed third, it just won't be worth it. A few Marines getting picked off, but I think Rancor hoping that Unco's going to over-dedicate. We still have this bunker with the 2 fire bats and a slew of turrets, keep in mind, and a science vessel overhead. So if it's going to get done, it's got to get done with a micro punishment and a misstep. 6 Lurkers morphing here for Rancor. Is he just going to burrow them at home base to just try to extend the Mutalisks? Thing is, as soon as it radiates complete and it drops on this Mutaball, that should be it. Another Mutal's dropping, by the way. We got 75 set on both now. How well does Rancor separate is the next question. Lurkers making their way out. Science vessel get picked off. There's the first to radiate. Nice split from Rancor. Really nice split, but still sacrificing a bit. Here come the Lurkers. And unfortunately, yeah, that doesn't look like it's going to be sufficient. So the Lurker is going to get wiped out, and that should be GG from Rancor. Has nothing left. Game 1 goes to Unco in a very convincing fashion. GG.